Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm just going to ask the public if they would please mute their cell phones and any device that they would have to that might interrupt the meeting. Miss Penny Carter, did you get the invocation?
Yes, I did.
All right, great. Thank you, Mr. Rivera. This meeting is being called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975, Chapter 231. This agenda is complete to the extent known and was sent to the Trenton Times, posted on the first floor bulletin board in City Hall, filed in the city clerk's office, and posted on the City of Trenton's website. Formal action will be taken. Roll call, Ms. Carter.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson.
Present.
Councilman Harrison. Councilman Harrison. Councilman Michelle.
Present.
Councilman Rodriguez.
So that's it?
Councilwoman Vaughn. Councilwoman Vaughn. Councilwoman Wilkins.
Councilman Harrison.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman Wilkins.
Present.
Council President McBride.
Present.
Mr. Kaloji.
Present.
Mr. Cruz is absent. Mr. Cherry.
I'm present. Good evening, everyone.
Mr. Liston.
Present.
Mr. Bridges.
Present.
Mr. Wilson.
Present.
Mr. Douglas. Mr.
Present.
Douglas.
Good evening. Yeah, present. Good evening.
Mr. Daniels.
Present. Good evening.
Dr. Lopez.
Good evening. I'm present.
Mr. Onteri.
Present.
Ms. Richardson.
I am present. Good evening.
Mr. Lavenberg.
Present.
And Mr. Cruz is absent. And Ms. Vaughn.
Is Mrs. Zielinski on the line? Is Mrs. Zielinski present?
Yes, he is.
All righty.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Miss Penny Carter, did you want to do the flag salute and the invocation?
Okay, I'll do the invocation first. Almighty God, who holds the fate of man and nation, we most humbly beseech thee to bless this our city, these deliberations, and these thy servants, that they may act with wisdom and understanding for the good of our community and thy greater glory. Amen. I pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so, Ms. Penny Carter, up at the, I would like just to do, some house cleaning items at the top of this meeting, before we go to the, public hearing for the ordinance.
We want to do the partial minutes, approval of them.
Yeah, you can, but, you can. Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve them? May I have a motion to approve the partial minutes?
Could you put,
So moved.
Second.
Who moved them, please? I didn't hear the voice.
Caldwell Wilson.
Thank you.
Second by Councilman Harrison.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Abstentions? So carried. And then I have I'm submitting for approval, a raffle application filed by Robert Wood Johnson, University of Hamilton, to hold an on-premise 50/50 raffle on April the 27th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Vaughn has joined the meeting at 5:35. Mrs. Carter.
Thank you. All in favor of approving the raffle?
Yeah.
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. Then we have a ordinance for a second reading and public hearing. I'd like to open.
No.
You don't want to do that?
I said that I wanted to do a couple house cleaning items before we went to the first reading.
Okay.
And I wanted to know if
Before we go on, Council President, somebody needs to mute themselves because.
there's a lot of water going on.
Yes.
So I would like to ask Mr. Cherry, is Mr. Bridges is the tax collector on the line? I believe you pronounce her name as Luden. Mrs. Luden.
Constance, are you present? Madam President, if she's not available at the moment, myself or Mr. Zielinski can answer questions on her behalf.
Well, okay, so I had asked for her to be present this evening because on Tuesday we had a family to come forward questioning the council in reference to the assignment liens or the tax liens assignments or the liens, the purchases of liens. And that is an administrative function But when we did go to the clerk's office to pull up the list, the family was not on the list, and she had given the family the impression that they were to come in front of the council to get their answers. And so I just want to bring some clarity to that this evening. And so first, I would like to know if the family was called and informed that they weren't on the resolution 131. Have that family been called, Mr. Zielinski?
I thought we had reached out to them. They were on the initial list. Unfortunately, they didn't make the advertisement.
I wanted to know if they had been informed that they weren't on this a resolution 131.
I do not know that.
Okay, so we don't know if
Council President, if I may, I do recall the last meeting I provided, there were email addresses provided for them to contact, get in contact. I did not receive anything, so I personally did not give them any notice. I was waiting on that initial communication.
All right, but Miss Ludden was informed early this morning by myself through Mr. Cherry, I believe, that they weren't on that list. And so the fact that no one knows if they have been informed that they're not on that they're not on this list is a problem within itself. And then the second thing is that she's not here on this on this meeting to explain the process to any family that purchased liens from the city of Trenton. So, Mr. Zielinski, if you could explain the process to the family, and if they're not on the line, explain it to the public, please. Mr. Zielinski, Mr. Bridges, or Mr. Cherry?
Yeah, Council President, I'm happy to jump in on that. I don't know what that is. Sorry.
Okay, now leave
Press
it.
mute.
No.
The process for getting on this list is essentially an email is sent to Ms. Constance Ludwin's department of folks identifying what they believe to potentially be abandoned properties. Once that is and asking that they be put on the list to obtain those properties. When those emails are received, an email is sent from Ms. Ludwig's department, and it's an email with certain forms that they have to fill out, and it provides a price. Once those forms are filled out and a price is agreed to, every 2 to 3 months, a list is generated similar to the one that council is voting on here today for approval of the transfer of these properties by way of this tax certificate. That's that process. If the council is interested in understanding the process to foreclose on the actual property, I can go into that. But I think what Council President is more referring to is how folks get on this list. And based on my conversation with Ms. Ludwig, that's the process. An email is sent, or their contact or a call saying there's this abandoned property, I'd like to have it. The email is sent to them with the forms and the price. They fill the forms out, and then it generates a list. That's the process to get on the list. If you would like to know more about the foreclosure process, I can delve into that also if needed.
No, so the thing that I'm concerned about.
I hear Mr. Zielinski. He may have had some difficulties. Ron, you there?
Yeah, I finally got back in. I was having trouble signing back in.
So the thing that I'm really concerned about, Mr. Bridges and Mrs. Zielinski, is that when any resident or anyone that comes forward and wants to purchase a lien, they should be given something in writing detailing the process, and so that they will be clear on not only how to actually purchase the lien, but the complete process. For someone to tell them to come to the council to get their answers is inappropriate and it's misleading.
Well, I
My
do agree. I do agree with you. I don't think any of the public should be referred to the council. I don't know what I've heard that said. I don't know what the case is with that. In terms of the actual process and what's being given, that's the process. I understand it. But I would probably want to defer to the folks that are actually in that department that do that. I would assume that the email with the forms to fill out and the purchase price would spell that out. But again, it's not my department, so I'd have to defer to someone else who actually sends those emails.
And the fact that she didn't show up to just discuss this process with the public, it's a problem within itself. You refer the public to the council, and then you don't show up when the process is all wrong. The family did not make the list. For some reason, they felt as though they should have been on this list. They were told that they were on this list. And then at the 10th hour, we get a memo saying, hey, they fell through the cracks. I don't know how many more residents in the city of Trenton fell through the cracks, but at least she should have came on to this meeting to explain that process and how they were left out of this particular resolution 22-131. And
Madam
now
President,
I find out that we don't even know if they've been informed that they're not on that list. Go right ahead, Mr. Cherry.
Madam President, thank you. I do want to clarify that we are going to try to offer some training, virtual training for the residents, this family, or anyone who might be interested in the process, so that they can understand what the steps are that they need to take if they wish to purchase a tax lien, and so that they understand that purchasing a tax lien does not give them the right to the property, to understand how they can view what tax liens are available for sale, participate in the tax lien auction, and we are also going to have them instructed on how to purchase city-owned properties in general, so that a resident who is interested in property in the city of Trenton can attend one of those sessions and get all of their questions answered.
I appreciate that, Mr. Cherry, and if you can make sure that when you are offering these classes, that the council gets a schedule of these public meetings, so that we can share them with the public. And if you can make sure that the tax collector is a part of this process.
Absolutely, Madam President. She will certainly be part of that process.
Council President?
This is Ron Zielinski. I just got a message.
Hold up for a minute, Mr. Zielinski. I'm going to let Councilwoman Wilkins chime in.
Council President, and I guess you can check with the administration, Mr. Colin Cherry, and Mr. Cruz's absence. Is it possible maybe we can wait until the next council meeting so that Ms. Lunden can be available to answer the questions and the family have time enough to be contacted so that they can speak upon it also? If it's something that would not interfere with the continuation of the business of the city, I would suggest we table it until the next meeting so that all parties have an opportunity to speak on behalf of it.
Madam President, if I may.
Let Mr. Zielinski speak, and then you can come on, Mr. Cherry. Mr. Zielinski, you have the floor.
Okay. Yes, I just got a message from Ms. Luden, and she cannot unmute. She's in the meeting, but she can't unmute her device.
It's star.
So
it's star 6, isn't it?
Yes.
Mr.
Yeah,
Rivera.
she's been trying to unmute and she can't unmute.
If she's on the phone,
that's the difficulty.
If she's on the phone, she just pushes star 6.
She's telling me that's not working.
And Mr. Rivera would have to assist her.
Council President,
Yes, Mr. Rivera?
if she can just log out and then log back in, that's pretty much what can be done. But that's the only thing I can say. I can't unmute her from here.
Okay. Mr. Zelinski, you heard the instructions from Mr. Rivera?
I believe she can hear you. She just can't speak. Let me see if she signs back in.
Madam President, if I may, in the meantime, I can respond to Councilwoman Wilkins' question.
Yes, go ahead.
Councilwoman, we are already prepared to bring this family and the other entity that seemed to...
Mike G, can
Go
you
in.
please mute yourself?
Relax. Mike.
Mike G.
And look, Mom, it don't even matter what you do with.
We are prepared to bring this family as well as the other entity that did not make it onto this docket onto the next docket as a separate resolution. The lien that they wish to purchase is not on this docket. It isn't as though it's going to someone else. Unfortunately, due to the way advertising requirements are for this particular process, we can't simply table this and put it onto the next meeting. We would have to run the entire process again, which is much more complicated with such a large docket. So my recommendation, Councilwoman, if you are willing, would be to simply act on the number that you have in front of you, and then at the next council meeting, we will bring you 2 additional ones. But again, the property that the Jacksons wish to purchase the tax lien for is not on this docket. It is not as though you are offering that lien to some other individual in the meantime.
That decision would be Councilwoman Wilkins.
You said that it's a long and strenuous process. Is that what you said, Mr. Cherry?
Yes, to do the re-advertisement for this long list of individuals, it is much easier, and we can absolutely do in time for the next docket just the 2 entities, including the Jacksons, who did not make it onto this list. So at your next meeting in 2 weeks, you would receive an additional tax lien sale assignment,
No.
which would include the Jacksons.
No, you just repeated what you said to me. I heard you. But what I'm asking is, you said it's a long process. If we had to table this tonight and to re-advertise it, you said it would be a long process?
Yes, because of the number of liens that are on this particular docket. Is that correct,
This
Ron?
is what would have to happen is all the assignments would have to be recalculated, they would have to be renoticed, and they would have to be re-advertised. And that's 150 some items, which would take more than the next meeting would probably take a month to redo.
Okay.
So that's the problem with not moving forward. Creates a lot of additional work.
Okay. All right. Then I say we take it to the vote and let the council decide. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. So, Mr. Cherry, I just would hope that by tomorrow, I would hope this evening that someone reached out to the family, because as of now, because Mrs. Luton could have told Mr. Zelinski whether or not the family had been contacted or not. But anyways, I would hope that someone reach out to the family and have this discussion. And I thank you for that. And then the second housekeeping item that I wanted to discuss is the report that Mr. Anateri sent in for his for the explanation that was requested of him on Tuesday. I'm just going to pull up the email. So, Mr. Onateri submitted today to the council some kind of report, and the report is about a change order, and
Council President,
yes.
I was on mute. I was trying to say something. I just have one question about the previous resolution or on the tax lien sale. Could I
Yes, go
say,
ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to add, I don't need an answer to it. I just wanted to state that if Ms. Luden was on the line on Tuesday, she was silent and she knew what the process was, and I think she should have spoken up on behalf of her department and and represent the service that she provides to the residents. And if she was on the phone on Tuesday and then failed to show up today, then I think there's some serious issues there. And all the appointed officials of the city who we gave advice and consent to have to understand the same entity that gave you advice and consent can become quickly unhappy with your performance and can unwind and repeal that advice and consent. So don't think that you don't have an obligation to this council and the people of this city. Thank you, Council President.
Yes.
Madam
Council
President.
President Ron Zielinski, I'd like to reiterate that Ms. Ludden is on this meeting, but she can't unmute herself.
So I'm going to move on to the report that Mr. Onafried turned into us today, because I'm looking at the report, and the biggest portion of this report was done on 10/27. But on the report, I was just trying to determine what the inspector did, because we hired an inspector for the Department of Public Works. And when we hired the inspector, I'm just going to go to the actual title here of the inspector's title. It's a civil service position, and it is the job specification says that he's a road inspector. And in the example of work, it says inspect the construction of roads to ensure the standards. And then it also says that they will submit reports. So because they're an employee of the city of Trenton, and I can't get into who it is, but this particular job as a road inspector has certain criteria, and one of the criteria is to report on the progress of the construction projects. And the other definition of a road inspector is that they also were to have some type of design design
Experience. Yep.
Thank you, experience behind their name. And so when I look at this report that you submitted, Mr. Onateri, it doesn't have the inspector's name on it. It has a couple of I have to switch back from email to email. It has a couple of signatures, one being an engineer's signature and one being the construction site manager's signature, but I don't see where the road inspector signature is, and I don't see where we have been getting the reports on the progress of the construction projects that he's taken on since he's been on board. So that raises a problem for me. First, the reports that he should have been submitting have not been submitted, and we had to ask for them. And second, on the reports that have been submitted, they're submitted by the engineer. And I'm trying to figure out whether this is Mr. Stevens or the engineer from the construction, because the handwriting is, yet to be determined who signed it. But I'm trying to figure out, is this from our engineer, Mr. Stevens? And is Mr. Stevens supposed to do this report, or is this report to come from that road inspector? So there's a lot of questions that I have for Mr. Onateri on this particular report that he submitted to us this afternoon. If anyone else has any questions pertaining to this report, I'm quite sure all of you
Council President?
Yes.
Yes, actually, you covered it very well. But I read through Mr. Onateri's memo, and it doesn't suffice because that only represents the Lima Construction Company. I think that's what it says. Lima, I can't think of the construction company. But nonetheless, that is not the report that this council had requested. The report that the council is requesting, as you articulated, is the report that our road inspector supposed to deliver and prepare on behalf of the city to, of course, cover our liability. Our liability and interest are not covered by the inspector's report that the construction company did. That's for their organization and their company. And I'm just very disappointed that a director, an executive, would even submit that to this council. I'm actually concerned and insulted at the same time. So I don't think Mr. Onateri has an understanding of the responsibility that he has operating at that level. And if he doesn't understand that the duties of the road inspector and how our road inspector, the person that he hired, that we're probably paying some, $90,000 a year, that person is delivering or providing a very valuable function to the city of Trenton. So we need that report, and the administration, Mr. Cruz, need to huddle with Mr. Onateri quickly to ensure that we have the right person for that job, and that person is qualified. Because we need to get those reports here quickly. That work is underway, and we would not want that construction company continue doing this type of work at the cost that the city is paying the taxpayers, and we are open for liability in the event that that work is not done properly, et cetera, et cetera. So we need a road inspector out there now. We don't have one. And I believe we may be in violation because the city's supposed to have a road inspector, and I haven't been able to, and I want Mr. Kaloji to examine the city code in West Bridges as well. And that's another thing. I understand where our legal support representative for the city is. Mr. Bridges also has a responsibility, like Mr. Cruz has, to ensure that our liability is nilch for the city of Trenton. We got multi-million project underway on Stuyvesant Avenue, and there aren't any road inspectors. And I want Mr. Kaloji and Mr. West Bridges to do their jobs and limit this liability, and make sure that Mr. Onateri has the right individual in that job. I'm concerned that we got a resolution on the docket tonight that Mr. Onateri is asking to hire a road inspector. How could that be when the council already approved and hired and allowed him to hire? DCA approved the waiver last year to hire this individual as a road inspector. Who is this person? And and the law department, human resource department need to look at that civil service job description for a road inspector and ensure the current individual that we hired last year have the qualification and is performing that job. If not, they need to do what they have to do, and then we can determine whether we need to hire another person. Thank you, Council President.
So the thing that I'm concerned about with this, we have another project on Greenwood Avenue. I think that it's the same as the project that we have going on Stuyvesant Avenue. And I'm concerned when I see signatures on this report and none of them reflect our road inspector, because I think most of you have heard me say in prior months that we did construction in the city for our sidewalks and our handicap accessibility curveways, and they were put in backward. And so our councilman from the South Ward told us, because it was under his tenure, that they were put in backward, and when the city took them to court to stop payment, the judge ruled in the construction company's favor because we did not have a road inspector on the site. Now, we've given Mr. Onateri the road inspector that he asked for, but yet and still in his job description, it says that he should be reporting the progress. So that means that he should be visiting all of these sites. And we don't see that because we don't see any reports from our road inspector. So I'm going to move to table that resolution to bring on another inspector for the Public Works Department until he could show us what this road inspector that we've hired, and I think it's for the sum of over $70,000, I believe. I'm not really sure of the amount. I will have to go back to look it up, but we need to, I will make a motion to table that resolution when we get to it. So I thank you. Those are the things the house cleaning items that I wanted to speak to before we went into the public portion of the ordinance. Ms. Penny Carter, you may continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Garrett.
Aaron has her name up. Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead, Ms. Garrett.
Thank you, Council President and the council body. My concern, as what was just covered in the beginning of this meeting, the qualifications of individuals, rather their contract. Hello?
Excuse me. The public hearing is open on the ordinance, not on what was previously discussed.
Okay, I know what the orders. I come on now. You're interrupting me, and I only got a few minutes. I'm going to get to the point. There's a point to something. I don't know what discussions you have or how you elaborate on things, but this is a discussion. So to 2206, as I was stating, to clarify my point, if I can, is that I am concerned, as we were just discussing, the inspector, the public works inspector with roads, the deputy municipal clerk and his part-time assistant municipal clerk. I've gotten a number of complaints in regards to the individuals who are working in the clerk's office that doesn't know their job, cannot answer questions, don't know where things are, cannot find anything, not sure how the office operates, okay? So, yeah, we're talking about salary ranges for the position of deputy municipal clerk and the part-time assistant municipal clerk. And my concern, okay, is in regards to, we're talking about salaries, but what about qualifications of these individuals? You know, we do not need to have any more persons in these roles and making good money, and they can't service the residents and the constituents in Trenton. So I hope I expounded on this 2206, okay, and kept to this thing, because there's an issue here in Trenton and administration and the diverse units and divisions in Trenton. People don't seem to know what they're doing, and we got people in jobs, and they're not operating. People are not answering the phone. They're not answering emails, and just like what happened, not getting away from 2206, we have individuals who will come to council speaking about something that has nothing to do with, well, it has a partial to do with council because they have to approve that tax sale. But the point is, people don't know what they're doing. So that's my concern about this salary range and the positions, having people in there making decent money, but earning it and have the qualifications to perform those jobs. That's my remarks on 2206. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. The next person, Miss Penny, do you see?
I don't see anybody else's hand up.
Councilwoman Vaughn, do you see any hand?
No, nobody else's.
Motion
Unless
to
somebody's
close
on the
public
phone.
comment.
No. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson made a motion to close public comment.
Oh, Maurice Hallett and Mary Horn.
All righty.
Maurice Hallett.
Go right ahead, Mr. Hallett.
Good evening, council. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I'm hoping this is open comment, public comment. I have two comments.
This is on 2206 ordinance.
Nope. Okay. No comment for me then.
Okay.
Next one, Mary Horn.
Ms. Horn.
Yes, good evening, council. I'd just like to say that the staff that's working in the clerk's office now, I believe they're doing the job they have been given. The public cry was to alleviate the clerk, so he is not on board. And for, even if it's short notice for them and they're working through the paperwork, I believe I've gotten everything that I asked for in the clerk's office. So, you know we have to hire someone, a clerk. Okay, so if that's in process, so then there's no need, there's no need, and I have to say this. The people who are working and trying to get the council what they need, I think they're doing pretty good so far. And just to say that about that. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other hands, Councilwoman Vaughn?
No, ma'am.
All righty. So Councilwoman moved the motion. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson moved the motion to close public comment. Who's second?
Second.
And second by Councilwoman Vaughn. Ms. Penny Carter.
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison.
This is just to move it, right?
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear what you just said.
This is to close. This is to close
Yes.
public comment.
Yes.
Make a public comment. Councilman Michelle is absent.
Yes.
No,
I'm not
he's
absent.
not. He's not
I'm
absent.
sorry. What's your vote?
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Okay, the vote was carried to close the public hearing. And now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
No.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes. No, excuse me. No. No.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Adoption of the ordinance was carried. Now I would need a motion on the consent agenda, which involves resolutions 22-127, 22-128, 22-144, 22-148, 22-149, 22-155, 22-160, 22-161, 22-162, 22-165, 22-166, and 22-167.
You left out 22-140.
Oh, okay.
So moved.
Second.
Council
Councilwoman,
President? Excuse me,
Yes,
Council President?
I'm trying to, which, can someone tell me which, go ahead, Councilwoman,
She also left out from the Department of Health and Human Services, 22-141, rejecting bids. That was on the consent agenda also.
thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
One, 22-139 was not in there, was not included in that, was it? Was it?
No.
That's roll call.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Can I move forward with the roll call?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried by unanimous vote. And then the roll call, one's 22-123, a resolution removing Trenton Police Director Stephen Wilson from his position pursuant to NJSA 40:69.
Excuse me. Excuse me, I don't have that on my agenda.
That's
I
not
don't have
on
my
the,
agenda.
that's
I
not
don't
on
either.
the agenda, Miss Penny Carter. What are you doing?
Well, it's on the one that I'm reading from. That's why I couldn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
Because Mr. Bridges stated that it would have had to been untabled on Tuesday and we would have had to rise again. So that was.
Okay. My mistake. I didn't pick up on that one. I'm sorry. The next one is Resolution 22-124.
No.
Do I have the wrong?
Madam President,
Yes.
I need to make a comment on
Yes,
that.
go.
I asked the acting clerk to untable that. I did that last Wednesday or Thursday.
Mr. Bridges and was supposed to get in touch
I was the one
with,
that tabled it.
right. Mr. Bridges was supposed to get in touch with you because he gave a legal opinion stating that in order to untable it, that you would have to been here on Tuesday and that it would have to be riced again. Mr. Bridges, am I correct? That's what I have written down on my notes.
Well,
Yes,
it's on
that's correct.
table because I ordered it to be on table. The rice notes, I don't know about the rice notice. I didn't get
Mr.
any opinions
Bridges.
from Mr. Bridges.
The only thing that could potentially be done today with respect to this, if this were to be revised, to have a resolution tabling. Let me finish talking, please. It would have to be a resolution to untable the resolution that's at reference here. That's the only thing that can be done today.
We don't need
You can motion to untable.
You can motion to untable, but
you could untable it, but you cannot have that conversation, nor can there be a vote on that tonight until the proper notice requirements are given under the Rice Rice case. Mr. Kaloji, if you'd like to correct or reiterate or
Yeah, I agree. You can vote
supplement that,
tonight
I'm happy to hear from you as well.
Sorry. You could vote tonight to untable it and to place it on the agenda for the next meeting if you wish.
But I was under the impression that you gentlemen, Mr. Bridges, that you were going to reach out to the councilman and make him aware of this before.
Nobody did. No one did.
I did not. I candidly did not. I don't know if I maybe missed something in our conversations. I know that there was an email sent, and I believe a couple of emails from myself.
Not to me.
Okay, well.
Councilman Rodriguez has to agree to untable it in public.
Yes, I agree. That's way to untable it. It's not untable for the vote. It's to continue the discussion because we caught it. It was tabled halfway through. We never finished the discussion on this matter. What I tabled it was the discussion, and now I untabled it for the hearing to be completed.
Then again, you can make that motion to untable it and then have it on the next agenda with proper notice.
No, I don't need to. I already untabled it. Okay,
Right, but we can't
I'm
discuss it
now.
tonight.
Okay, I'm making a motion to untable it.
So Mr. Councilman Rodriguez, they're saying that you can untable it, but we can't have the discussion. So do you want to wait till we can have the discussion?
No. I want to untable it now. I want to move to untable it, and then we will have the discussion whenever the law department decides.
No, it's not the law department side. You can untable it. And again, this was put in an email. You can untable it and make a resolution to untable it. But
you never send me any emails, but I am moving to untable it.
I think we're saying the same thing. I think we're saying the same thing. Okay.
Okay, so.
But if
so
we're
now
going
we
to
have
discuss it, we need a date.
No, we're not going to discuss anything today. We're going to be on tabling. That's it.
No,
Okay, so
not today, sir. We need to put it on for a date so we can give the affected individual notice of the date. So tonight you can
Once it's on
vote to
table, that
untable
could be
it.
done, Mr. Kaloji. You know that. You're an attorney.
You can vote to untable
I am
it,
not
but
saying-
you can't discuss it unless you set a date
Well,
that
it'll be
it's going to be
discussed.
on the
Hey,
agenda.
Mr. Gonzalez, we're all saying the same thing. If you would listen for 3 seconds, all three of us are saying the same thing. You can vote to untable it today, but you can't do anything on that until the next meeting
I
when proper.
already moved to.
You moved to untable it, but now you got to be quiet so you can vote to untable it.
That's it. That's all.
Council President, if I may.
Go right ahead, Councilwoman Caldwell
Yeah,
Wilson.
I think that if Mr. Rodriguez wants to untable it, he might want to ask what date we are going to bring it up so they can give the duty.
No, I'm not asking for a date. That will be decided by the attorneys.
Mr. Kaloji, what date can it be? What date could it be?
You can put it on whenever you want. You just need to set a firm date. It could be the next meeting. It could be the meeting after that, because we have to notify the affected individual by rice notice and notice under our ordinance A316. So you can vote to untable it tonight, but to put it on the agenda for a specified meeting date, and that's the date we will notify the individual that he may be discussed.
We'll be do it for the next meeting.
Okay. So this will be for the meeting of May 4th, 3rd, here. I'm just looking here.
May 5th.
May 3rd?
May 5th, I believe. Miss Penny Carter, do you have your calendar?
May 5th is the regular meeting, the next regular meeting. The 3rd is a conference session.
So it has to be untabled for the 3rd. The 3rd. The discussion has to take place on the 3rd, Miss Penny Carter.
Okay, I need a second for the untabling motion.
Second.
I'm sorry?
Second. I'm seconding it so it could be untabled.
Okay, I didn't hear it.
It's Councilwoman Vaughn.
Okay.
I think Mr. Rodriguez is the first, right?
Yes, he moved it.
He moved. Okay, and I will second it.
Okay. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson?
Yeah, no.
Councilman Harrison?
No.
Councilman Michelle?
No.
Councilman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins?
Yes.
Council President McBride?
Yes.
So it carried the untabling carried, vote carried.
And we will send out the requisite notice to the affected individual for the next meeting, May 3rd.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, 22-124, a resolution requesting that the New Jersey State Legislature and the Mercer County Board of Commissioners revise the redistricting laws relative to the appointment of ward commissioners and an increase in the number of Mercer County Board of Elections members from 4 to 6 persons with necessary budget increases while ensuring local and native representation reflecting the diverse racial and ethnic demographic of the municipalities they serve.
So move.
Second.
Council President, may I speak on this?
Yes, go ahead.
And I would just like to ask if it's possible, and very quickly, is Mr. Rivera on the line, our Chief Technology Officer? Can he just allow me to share? I just want to quickly say that this is a very important piece of legislation that we're resoluting here tonight by the Trenton City Council and the government of the city to request that the Mercer County Board of Commissioners move to pass legislation to expand the Mercer County Board of Elections. Currently, the Mercer County Board of Elections does not have the diversified makeup to support and make the decisions for the city of Trenton that I believe is fair and just. When a body gets to make serious decisions like redrawing district lines and ward lines, it is imperative. It is the democratic way of this country that we in that district, in that ward, in that municipality, in that state has representation, have a say in how those lines are drawn. And I believe an injustice has been applied to the city of Trenton. And we here today, I'm asking my council members to support this and send this request that we're seeking to the Mercer County Board of Elections and the other elected bodies that can help facilitate and remedy this injustice. Every decennial, every 10 years, the United States prepares a census. and attempts to understand the population of this country and the population of the registered voters in this country. We all know voting is a constitutional right. And having said that, it's fair to say it's our right to have representation, our city to have representation on that board. And it's our right to be able to vote on or agree how those lines should be drawn. And we haven't been given that opportunity, and it's time for it to be corrected. And I would think the Mercer County Board of Elections, the Mercer County Board of Commissioners, the county executive, the state legislature, and the leaders of the respective parties that also play a role in selecting who gets to sit on that board. So that means Janet Marinoff, who is the Mercer County Democratic Chair, and Ms. Lisa Richford, who is the Mercer County Republican Chair. And all that we ask is that they rise up and act justly in ensuring that Trenton has representation. Can you all see my screen by chance? Council President, can you see my screen?
No.
Just yourself.
You didn't share it yet. You didn't share yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Council President.
Council President.
Okay, 1 second.
Yes,
I'm just going to put it up.
Madam President, I have been raising my hand for a while.
Okay. All right. Can you see me now?
Yes, but I still have to let the councilwoman.
I know. I don't want to speak now. I just want to. Can you see my screen?
No.
No.
Darn it.
You follow, that's it.
All right. You guys can speak. I'll get it up.
Go right ahead, Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson, and then Councilman Rodriguez.
Yes, just a point of clarification. The census do not count registered voters. They deal strictly with the population. They do not get involved with voter registration.
Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you. Can you guys see me now?
Yes.
You see the screen. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome. So just very quickly before Council Rodriguez speaks, I just want to explain the screen. This shows the current makeup of the Mercer County Board of Elections. Right now we have four sitting commissioners, 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. And as you can see, the municipalities that they're representing, Hopewell Township, Ewing Township, Lawrence Township, and Hamilton Township. And Trenton is not there. So I can't tell, well, we all know as minorities, Black and brown people, that we have been disenfranchised from the voting process for decades. So this is serious, and we should all take it serious, and no one should be against it. Many people died to get citizens in this country, our fellow Americans, to be able to vote and to be able to participate in the voting process. So Trenton can no longer be excluded, not when these individuals are making decisions for our city. It's just unjust. There's no other way to put it. So, and that's what I'm going to say about that. And also, I would just encourage folks, African Americans, Latinos, who's been disproportionately impacted and disenfranchised from the voting process, to volunteer to work on this board. They, as you can see, they are paid a small stipend for their service. They do a lot of work every election, so right now, we would ask that once it gets passed, if we get good news from the Board of Commissioners, we have 2 minority Black males who serve on this Board of County Commissioners. We have Honorable Sam Frisbee. We have the Honorable Terrence Stokes. And we will pass the flag to them in the event that this resolution passes tonight. So if that's the case, and Janice Marinoff and Miss Lisa Richford, the party leadership of both Republican and Democrat see it just to have 2 seats given to the city of Trenton, considering our significance in the Mercer County voting process and electorate, to put a minority, 2 minorities, particularly an African American and Latino, on this board. And I will yield my time and give it to Council President and whoever she deems to pass the floor.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Oh, well, yes, I believe, I agree, I will support this resolution because the Board of Elections is now representing the diversity of the county. Also, there's a point that it's only 2 parties, but they have been leaving behind a great portion of our registered voters that are not registered with either party. They are undeclared. You see a U by their names, and that's a large portion, and especially in Trenton, the undeclared are second, almost close to the one party. And I believe that's very, very unfair. The way they are doing it is to give it to the 2-party system and making it impossible for the diversity to participate. So I will be voting in favor of this. And thank you, Councilwoman Bond, for bringing this issue.
Council President,
Yes, go right ahead, Councilman Harrison.
I would like to let everybody know that the council was represented by the city clerk regarding this redistricting. The clerk was representing the council. He was on the call and on the meeting. He was a part of this. So I'm not sure why we're not realizing that the clerk was a part of this board. Mr. Collins was.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there anyone else on the council that would like to speak?
Yes, I would like to add something.
Go right ahead, Councilwoman.
Okay. So I served on that Board of Elections for 10 years. And I will be very honest with you, they need more staff, not more board members. Thank you.
Ms. Penny, we may take it to the vote, please.
Okay. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson?
No.
Councilman Harrison?
No, we're already represented.
Councilman Michelle?
No.
Councilman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bond?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins?
Yes.
Councilwoman McBride?
Yes.
It's carried 43. Resolution 22-125, a resolution setting forth the interpretive statement for the referendum question regarding the proposed change of the City of Trenton School District from A Type 1 to A Type 2 District.
So move.
Second it.
I just want to say briefly, this is Council President. May I have the floor?
Excuse me, yes.
I just want to say quickly, this is primarily, actually, our attorney, Mr. Clogy, spoke very eloquently about it on Tuesday. This is merely a follow-up to supplement and to reinforce the referendum that was passed several months back to place the question on the ballot come Tuesday, November the 8th, 2022, to ask you Trentonians whether you would prefer our school board, our Trenton Public School District, and our Trenton School Board to be either remain a Type 1, fully appointed by the mayor, or Type 2, fully elected by the residents and, the electorate of the city of Trenton. So that's, and the resolution here just provides additional description of the impact of that legislation and will be included on the ballot when you go behind the curtain and cast your vote. So you can have a better understanding of all the impacts in the event that you vote to pass and vote for an elected school board. Thank you.
Are you ready for the roll call?
Yes, we are.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
I voted no on this resolution, so this will be an ND, no vote.
Councilman Harrison,
No.
Councilman Michelle,
No.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. 22-126, a resolution authorizing a referendum pursuant to NJSA 19-37-1 on the question of whether the City of Trenton's ordinances shall be amended to create a Department of Public Safety. It shall be under the authority of a Director of Public Safety and shall consist of a Division of Police and a Division of Fire, each headed by a chief.
Madam President?
I think that was tabled.
I don't have that.
How many
That should,
departments?
yeah, that shouldn't be on there, Miss Penny Carter. I don't know why
Why
it's
not?
there. You're not following your notes, because in the review, I took that off so that we could discuss with the attorneys just how many departments the City of Trenton is allowed to have, because I think that we're over the number. I don't understand why this is back there, Ms. Carter.
But Madam President, that has nothing to do with the departments. To the contrary, there will be one less department if we pass this.
No,
How is it going to affect the department?
Is a department.
The department, but then the police and fire, they will be divisions. They will not be departments. There will be divisions under the Director of Public Safety, the way it used to be. I don't know if you remember when we had a safety director.
So this, Mr. Councilman Rodriguez, this was pulled at docket. Ms. Carter.
Yes.
This was pulled at the docket.
But I believe it should be back in the docket.
It's not on the docket. It was pulled, Miss Penny Carter.
Okay.
Well, I will walk it on. And I walk it on.
I'm not going to permit for it to be walked on because it was
It's
pulled
not up to you.
so that we could get.
We have to take a vote.
Yes. The council president has to make the ruling whether it gets walked on or not. And I'm saying that
we have to take a vote on it. It's not your prerogative. Who said that?
It is my prerogative, Councilman, and I'm not going to go back and forth with you. What I'm telling you is that
you have been doing it over and over with my resolutions,
because
that's not the way it's supposed to be. Can we have Kology say his opinion on it, please?
Council President, now that you've made a ruling on it, our practice based on Robert's rules has been to dispense with the rule on walk-ons that would require a vote of 5. So if Councilperson Rodriguez wants to make a motion, he can certainly do that. It would require 5 votes to pass and put it on as a walk-on.
Hey, if I may jump in, do we have some concern about the notice requirements and the fact that this was not walked on at Tuesday's meeting?
Based on the research I've done on the agendas, my concerns are alleviated on that issue, Wes, but, I'll certainly defer to what the majority wants to do.
I don't believe in walk-on in Tuesday meetings.
Council President?
A motion has been made, and the motion has to be heard without further conversation. Okay? So, Ms. Penny Carter, take it to the vote.
Who seconded the
Anybody
motion?
second?
Who seconded the
Nobody
motion?
seconded.
If there's no second, then we're not going forward. So there was no second, so it failed.
Okay. We get it back the next meeting.
Okay, the next one is 22-129, a resolution authorizing and directing the foreclosure of 43 tax sale certificates totaling $1,503,809.99 pursuant to the NREM Foreclosure Act.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
It's gonna be a no vote.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
It's going to be a no.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
No.
Council President McBride,
No.
failed. Yes, it failed. Resolution 22-130, a resolution authorizing the city of Trenton to issue refunds totaling $16,720.40 on 15 properties.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Excuse me, Ms. Penny Carter. Before you had called that, I wanted to say that I was the one that asked for this to be roll called, and I have received the information that I needed to cast my vote. Thank you.
okay.
Council President? Council
Go right
President?
ahead.
I just want to quickly
Yes, go right
say,
ahead.
was Ms. Luden able to finally get in? Because it's never too late for her to speak on this during the course of this meeting. Was she ever able to get in, Mr. Zelinski, or
No, she was not.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start over with the roll call. Councilwoman Wilson. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson.
I voted already, didn't I?
Well, I'm
Yes, you
starting
did.
because we started the discussion. Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn.
This is to close the discussion, right?
I'm sorry.
No, this is the vote on the actual movement of the resolution.
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
No.
Council President McBride,
No.
it passed.
How did it pass?
Well, it was four
Really failed.
in
It
favor
failed.
and 3 against.
Yeah, it failed.
Does it need a quorum?
No, no. It was 4 votes. Councilman Rodriguez, Michelle, Harrison, and Caldwell Wilson.
No, Santiago voted a no vote.
No, I voted yes because that's
Oh, okay, I
for the
see. Okay, I'm
refund.
sorry. Excuse me.
That's for the refund. That's not for the tax liens. That's a different issue.
No, this is for the tax liens.
No.
No.
Everybody
refund.
voted.
Refund. It's for the refund.
It's for
Point
refunds
of order,
of
I did
people that
voted.
we overcharge. That they deserve to have that money back.
Exactly,
Oh.
correct.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very well. It passed. Okay, very well.
Okay.
Okay. Resolution 22-172, a resolution amending Resolution 22-074 to the law offices of Riker, Danzig, Schreier, Highland, and Petty, LLP, to contract the funding account, to correct the funding account number.
So moved.
Second.
Wait a minute, give me that number again, Ms. Penny Carter.
22-172.
I think she skipped 22-131, which is the tax sale certificate.
I thought we just did that. Oh, I'm
No, we
sorry.
did the refund.
130.
Okay, let me go back. We did 130. Resolution authorizing assignment of 156 tax sale certificates totaling $2,619,747.28 pursuant to NJ. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Right there. Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
No?
Council President McBride.
No.
Failed. And then Resolution 22-172, amending Resolution 22-074 to the law offices of Riker, Danzig, Schreier, Highland, and Petty, LLP, to correct the funding account number.
So moved.
Councilwoman Vaughn, did you
Second.
get the information from the attorneys on this?
Yes and no. I just want to quickly say that, but we can move forward with the vote, but I still have some outstanding questions in light of the mayor's late response.
Okay. All right,
But
I
I did reply in kind to Mr. Kaloji and Mr. Bridges to get me the law that substantiate the mayor's claim. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Continue with the vote.
Can you tell me who moved and seconded it? I didn't hear it.
Councilman Caldwell Wilson moved it.
I motioned, I think Joey
Yeah.
motioned and
And
seconded.
Joe Harrison seconded it.
Yeah, or whatever. It doesn't-
Okay, Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 22-173, amending Resolution 22-075 to the law offices of Weber Dow Law LLC to divide the approved funds between two account numbers.
So moved.
Second.
Continue with the vote.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 22-132, a resolution authorizing settlement of a civil action in the matter of Dennis E. Scanapico versus the City of Trenton in the amount of $600,000.
So moved.
Second.
Continue with the
Councilwoman,
vote.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
I just want to be clear. Is this a settlement that we discussed in the executive session?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
No.
Carried. Resolution 22-133, a resolution authorizing settlement of a civil action in the matter of Bank 3 versus the City of Trenton in the total amount of $86,000.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Is that one, that's 133, Bank 3? No.
Carried. 22-134, a resolution authorizing settlement of a civil action in the matter of John R. Corbett III versus the City of Trenton in the amount of $250,000.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 22-135, resolution authorizing the settlement of a workers' compensation claim in the matter of Hareen Santiago versus the City of Trenton, claim petition number 2019-1082, in the claim amount $15,090, including attorney's fees and costs.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Why doesn't he have the resolutions on the screen? Mr. Rivera? Go ahead. I apologize.
Council President McBride.
That's 135.
Yes, 135.
Yes.
Council-
My vote is yes.
Okay, carried. Resolution 22-136, a resolution authorizing the settlement of a workman's compensation claim in the matter of Victor Hernandez versus the City of Trenton, claim petition number 2017-30482, in the claim amount of $13,037.88, including attorney fees and costs.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 22-137, a resolution authorizing the settlement of a workers' compensation claim in the matter of Hillary Roberts versus the City of Trenton. Claim petition number 2016-21947, and the claim amount not to exceed $10,570.80, including attorney's fees and costs.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 22-138, a resolution authorizing the settlement of a workman's compensation claim in the matter of William Mulrain versus the City of Trenton. Claim petition number 2017-34544 in the claim amount of $16,328.97, including attorney's fees and costs.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
I'm sorry, which one is this? 139?
138.
Oh, yes, please, yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes. Ms. Penny Carter, I want to make a motion to table 22-139.
Second.
All in favor?
This is from the Department of Public Works in reference to bringing on another road inspector when we have one on, and that's not giving us the reports as his job title describes.
Okay. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
No.
Councilman Harrison,
No.
Councilman Michelle,
No.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Vote carried to table. Resolution 22-141.
Ms. Penny, that's on the
That was
consent
done
agenda.
in consent.
Yes, ma'am.
Consent.
Okay, resolution
One.
42, right?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing payment for a contract with Kaplan Group LLC Medical Home Pharmacy, 828 North Olden Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey, 08638, which was awarded on an emergency basis to provide COVID-19 tests, licensing, training, and reporting for the Department of Health personnel to render services to the City of Trenton's residents.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
No.
Council President McBride.
No.
Failed. Resolution 22-145, a resolution authorizing the execution of purchase money, mortgage, and documents between the City of Trenton and Ricky Davis for the sale and purchase of city-owned property in the amount of $42,750.
So moved.
Second.
Council President?
Go right ahead.
I just want to confirm, I believe this is the gentleman who does not live in Trenton, right? Who's not a Trenton resident.
Right.
Yeah, okay, very well. Okay, thank you. You can move to the vote, Council President.
Go right ahead, Ms. Penny Carter.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
No.
Council President McBride.
No.
Carried. 4-3. Resolution 22-146, a resolution authorizing the execution of purchase money mortgage documents between the City of Trenton.
So
And-
moved.
She hasn't finished reading it.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I was mistaken on Tuesday. The the person's name is Joe Sue.
Josue Lora.
Yeah, okay. For the sale and purchase of city-owned property in the amount of $93,600.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
I just want to confirm that he is the resident, he's a resident of the city, correct?
Yes,
just
he
wanna-
is.
Yes.
Yes,
So
he
my vote will be yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 22-147, a resolution awarding a contract through a fair and open process in accordance with NJSA 40A:11-4 to the Northeast and Bucks Company trading as Mullen and Lonergan Associates to provide planning services for development and preparation of the 2022 Annual Action Plan, Consolidated Annual Performance and an Evaluation Report, CAPER, completion of environmental reviews, ERR, home ARP plan, and technical support related to HUD programs in an amount not to exceed $125,000 for a period of 1 year from March 18th, 2022 to March 17th, 2023 per RFP 2022-01B.
So moved.
Second.
Miss Penny Carter, could I ask Mr. I want to ask Mr. C. Daniels to speak to this resolution if he would. Is Mr. Daniels on the line?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. So this basically is a resolution simply to provide planning and development and preparation of reports required by HUD. This is relative to our community development block grant programming.
Okay. Has this company done business with us before? Is this the same company? I remember the Longer Gang. Is this company with us now, or have we did business with this company before, Mr. Daniels?
Ma'am, I don't have that answer at this time. I do know that the contract was first put out to bid back in December of 2021. No bidders replied. We put out a second request on January 14th, 2022 of this year, and Northeast Bucks was the sole bidder, and they came in at $125,000.
Now, I was asking because I do remember this this firm. I remember Lungergan, and I think that this is the person that we were doing business with for when we unfroze our assets with HUD. I think that it was a female working with us, and she was from this particular company to help us unfreeze our assets. I just wanted to put that on the record. But anyways.
Okay.
Council President, Council President?
Yes, go right ahead, Councilwoman
Yeah,
Vaughn.
and I just want to say, ask Mr. Daniels, just a little question. Was there, I remember when your predecessor was here, and he was trying to move to hiring folks, you know, on a permanent basis so people can get institutional knowledge and grow with the city of Trenton. And so why is it that we got to contract out this type of planning service time and time again? Why not hire?
Well, you know, I could not answer what was the thought process behind my predecessor, what he was thinking about. I would just simply say that it has been my experience, whether it be the federal government, whether it be municipal, that usually you hire out firms to do this so that conflict of interest doesn't attach. That's my most simple answer that I would give you.
Like a conflict of interest with an employee versus a contractor? There's so many issues that we take risk with contractors. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Daniels.
Mrs. Penny Carter, you may continue with the vote.
Councilwoman Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 22-151, a resolution accepting a bid and awarding a contract.
What are you eating, Robin?
Mm-hmm.
What are you eating?
Cashews.
I apologize.
That's rude.
Awarding a contract to IBN Construction Corporation for demolition of 942 Prospect Street building for the Department of Water and Sewer for a period of 1 year from March 18th, 2022 to March 17th, 2023 in an amount not to exceed $520,000 under a bid 2021-20.
So move.
Second.
Ms.
Council
Wilkins,
President?
is this the, yeah, because I wanted to ask Councilwoman Wilkins, is this the same company that we had the problem with? Go ahead, Councilwoman.
So I just want to say, you know, here we are halfway through, I mean, more than less than a year before our terms end up, not just for us, the council, but the mayor potentially, and of course, a lot of the directors like Mark Lavenberg. And I don't understand why we're taking on a construction project at this juncture. Something like this should have been done earlier in his term. So I can't justify giving $500,000 talking about demoing Prospect Avenue and to really think that I have confidence that this particular water director is going to be able to complete that project in the next 7 months. So I will be voting no for this, but thank you.
Yes, Council President. This is the company that was voted down in the last council meeting, if that was your question. Yes, it's the same company.
Okay. Thank you. You may continue with the vote, Ms. Penny Carter.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
No.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
No.
Council President McBride.
No.
Failed. Resolution 22-153, a resolution accepting a bid and awarding a contract to Core and Main LP for the furnish and delivery of FOB of Kennedy valve model number 5571, gate valves /AWWA C515, ductile iron body, 350 PSI on an as-needed basis for a period of 1 year from March 17, 2022 to March 18, 2023, in an amount not to exceed $131,804 under a bid 2022-02.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
No. I think that I was trying to work on getting a system put in place, whereas when the software would tell us exactly when these products were ordered, the next time that they're due to be ordered. When these contracts like these valves and the chemicals that we order come in front of us, there's no mechanism in place to tell us when they purchased, when we had the last purchase and when it's time to repurchase. And sometimes I've looked at some of the contracts and they might say a year, but we were going and spending millions of dollars within 6 months. And so I just feel as though there should be some type of mechanism put in place to actually tell us when the last time we purchased and when the next time we should be purchasing, so that we won't keep duplicating before it's time. And that's my concern with these type of orders. I do know that we need them, but I believe that it's not just about ordering material over there in the water department, but some type of system needs to be put in place over there, because right now they have no system. We're just, it's like a fly-by-night type of organization over there, when it should be a very, very professional organization over there in that water department. And we wouldn't have to guess or go digging back into our old resolutions, because the system would automatically notify us. Thank you.
Council President, may I just comment on that, on the same?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm just going to piggyback about what you just said. And I totally agree. That's why I don't have a comfort level of giving or voting on any expenditures that Mark Lavenberg puts forward, because he does a poor job of reporting the financial position of our water department. And, you know, the last revenue reports I looked at that was given to me today, unless I'm not looking them, I'm not reviewing them properly, we're not translating the financial position, but they're reporting negative income. Negative income. That's a concerning number, and I'm just hoping that somebody, either Mr. Lavenberg or the mayor or Mr. Zielinski, come to this council at some juncture and explain how come the water utility, the self-liquidating cash cow of the city of Trenton, reported a negative income number to our regulator, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. So I won't be voting for anything Mark Lavenberg puts up over the next several months, unless he comes to this council and start explaining these numbers. Thank you.
Motion
You may
was
continue,
carried.
Ms. Whitaker.
Motion was carried.
All righty. Yes, just move to the next.
22-154, a resolution accepting a bid and awarding a contract to Core and Main LP for the furnish and delivery FOB of curb box materials, curb box rods, and foot pieces from April 8th, 2022 to April 7th, 2023, in an amount not to exceed $62,872 under a bid 2022-03.
So move.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
No.
It's carried. Resolution 22-158, a resolution accepting a bid and awarding a contract to Rustling Paving for roadway restoration for the city of Trenton for a period of 1 year, from April 8th, 2022 to April 7th, 2023, in an amount not to exceed $446,775 under bid 2022-10.
So move.
Second.
Councilwoman
Council
Caldwell.
President? Oh, no.
Yes.
Council President?
Yeah, go right ahead, Councilwoman.
Yeah, I just want to ask a quick question. I think Council President spoke on this eloquently last time. I just want to, why, again, can you refresh my memory? I'm getting old. So why is Rustling getting a pavement contract with the waterworks? That's who put this up? Mark Lavenberg?
Yes.
So why is this in his department again? Can somebody educate me, please? Council President, did you know? I thought you spoke about this.
This is, well, I was speaking to the lead pipe replacement, and when the contractors came in to replace the lead lines, and they tore up the streets, and when PSE&G come in and they tear up our streets, they're supposed to make us whole. And so I just didn't understand why we were shelling out almost $500,000 when that price should have been included with the contractors that did the lead line replacing and the PSE&G. This price should have been included in their work.
And absolutely.
And I apologize.
All right.
And I apologize, Council.
Excuse me.
Anybody asked him to speak? Nobody asked for Mr. Lavenberg to say anything.
This is not for the lead service work.
Well, nobody even knows the progress of that project. You're not even done. That's another issue. So all I want to say,
the project is done.
This
is for the work that we.
You replaced all those lead lines?
This is the work that.
Excuse me. Why is there a back and forth, Mr. Lavenberg? Please allow the councilwoman to finish her statement so we can move on.
Okay. So, again, I don't understand, unless this particular resolution can tell me what is Rustling doing, any type of replacement of cement, additional money being spent, and Council President just articulated, and I know it to be true, South State and all those contracting companies that we gave bond money to, and then in eight figures, 25 million, 33 million, we gave to Director Lavenberg to replace all the lead lines across the service area, including Trenton, and he's just saying that he's done with that project. Well, that's news to me in this council. So, and it's probably news to DEP too. I don't know what type of funny math they're using over there, but I know citizens in this city is still waiting for their lead service line to be replaced. So this rhetoric that's getting put out there is just shameful. So darn well those lead lines haven't been replaced. So, but anyway, back on this resolution, I'm not going to be voting for this because those multi-million-dollar contractors, as Council President said, in the water department should be replacing any curb, sidewalk, or street that they dug up or impacted while digging holes to replace those lead lines. And this is just, to me, a straight up giveaway. Okay, so I won't be voting for this. Now I'm just going to be waiting for some answers from Trenton Waterworks on this negative income report. This reporting.
You have
So,
to answer any questions.
all
Council
right,
President?
Council President, I have nothing more to add to this. I'll be voting no.
Council President,
Go right ahead, Councilman Harrison.
Mr. Levenberg, could you please elaborate? Because I wanted to get more information about this. Could you please elaborate?
Yes, I'd be happy to, Council President. May I have the floor?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is for, we have two contracts for work that Trenton Waterworks does. Trenton Waterworks does the majority of water main breaks, and we also do a significant amount of water services and water service leaks. So we have two contracts. We have one contract for the city. We also have another contract for the townships. This is for work that Trenton Waterworks employees do. Okay, when we dig up roads, we put in a temporary patch. Then we have a company comes in and they mill down the road and they put in 2 inches of base, 2 inches of top, and then they have an infrared machine that melts the asphalt into place for a more permanent patch. As to the lead services, okay, those contractors have been contract to restore the roads or to do curb-to-curb paving. When we come to the point where we're saying that the project is done, yes, we had funding to get 25% of all our lead services lines replaced. 25%. We are at that 25% level now. The bonds for that, which we do get 50% principal forgiveness, all right, have come to an end, and we've expended the money for that project. But this is for work that Trenton employees do when we dig up the roads for water main breaks and water services.
So I don't want to response to my statement. I just want to say that I don't understand how you could say that the lead line replacement has been finished when they dug up my street and you, the road inspector, the engineer for Trenton, can come out to Laurel Place and you'll see 13 black patches on our cement where the construction company came out, replaced the lead line, and left our sidewalks without cement. So when you tell me that they're finished, I don't understand that at all. When they did not cement our sidewalks like they should have. Like I said, the price was incorporated in their contract, and the fact that Laurel Place, where I live at, when they came out, they left it black-topped when it was cement when they came out, and that was with the lead line replacement. So if they're finished, somebody is doing a bad job. It goes back to the road inspectors, goes back to the inspectors, and it goes back to the construction site. So Ms. Penny Carter, just move on, please, because that was a statement.
Councilwoman Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
No.
Council President McBride.
No.
Carried. Resolution 22-159. Excuse me. Resolution accepting a bid and awarding a contract to Municipal Maintenance Company for electrical, mechanical, and general maintenance emergency repairs on an as-needed basis for a period of 1 year, April 8th, 2022 to April 7th, 2023, in an amount not to exceed $125,500 under bid 2022-08.
So moved.
Second.
Madam President,
Yes, go right ahead, Councilman.
I'd like to have a little explanation of what I wasn't in Tuesday's meeting, what this take-in line slaking system means.
Mr.
What
Lavingberg.
does it do? What is it?
Yes, Council President, I appreciate it. Yes, Councilman Rodriguez. So what we utilize for adjusting the pH of the raw water that comes in from the river, okay, because it has a very low pH and low alkalinity, to get proper treatment and to stop corrosion issues, we add the water, lime, okay? When we purchase the lime, we purchased what's called quick lime or calcium oxide. It's a very abrasive, hard form of lime. It's almost like stone, okay? We then transfer that to these lime slaking systems, lime slaking. And what lime slaking is, when you add water to the stone, okay, it creates calcium hydroxide, which we use, and that adjusts the pH. That process is very abrasive on the equipment, okay? And then also it's an exothermic reaction, so that when the calcium oxide is introduced to water, it creates a tremendous, and I mean tremendous amount of heat. So it's very, very difficult on the equipment, and it does need an awful lot of maintenance. We do daily maintenance on it around the clock with our team, but we also need to have a contract to replace the parts that are included with that. Now, you know, you could ask the question, like, why don't we just go to hydrated lime and buy it that way? There's a significant cost saving with going with this process. And if you have a properly maintained lime slaking system, very economical and very efficient. That's the best explanation I can do for the lime slaking process, but I appreciate the question.
Thank you.
You may continue with the vote, Ms. Carter.
Yes, ma'am. Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Roll call. Our Councilwoman Vaughn.
Oh,
We
which
just
one was
wrote, that was,
We just did 159.
But we have
Oh,
163 left.
Yes,
okay.
that's what I was
Okay.
No,
getting ready.
163 we just voted on.
No,
We
we
just
just voted on
voted-
22-159. I need to read 22-163. It's a
I
resolution.
thought we had voted on that one. That's the last resolution. We just voted on 22-163.
We
That's
just,
why I asked the question about taking lime slacking system. What that means.
We voted on that.
Yeah, the lime, that's the one that we voted. We voted
Yeah,
on
we voted on that. Yeah,
we
thank you,
voted
Tony.
on the electrical mechanical one first, and then we voted on the lime slaking line. Excuse me,
We didn't
system.
vote on 63. She was just
The
getting.
lime slaking system. We voted on 163 already. Miss Penny Carter, look at your notes.
Was 5-2.
Hey, yeah, we did.
It was 5-2.
We voted. We voted on everything.
What? She didn't read it.
163 was consent.
because of typos.
Really? I would just
163, she was just getting ready to read. We just did 159 regarding the electrical, mechanical, and general maintenance.
163 was consent.
No, it wasn't.
163, we just voted on. 5-2. Pass 5-2.
Okay.
That was the last one we had. The mechanical one was before that.
That was 22-159.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly, because Councilwoman Wilkins is correct, because when I saw that emergency in 159, it said emergency repairs. I wanted to comment on that. I voted no for it, but I think that's significant because I really don't understand it. That's what I thought I was voting on. And then we never got to 163. I think, I'm sorry, but I think it was mixed up.
Correct.
Well, we can go ahead and vote on 163 again, but I was under the impression that we just voted on 163 because Councilman asked about the line slaking system. But we can vote on it again, just to be safe.
But we never got to discuss 159 because of the emergency piece in there that we overlooked. We never got a chance to debate 159.
But we voted on it.
What does the clerk have it marked as?
I asked her.
I said I
Ms.
just,
Carter, what do you have 163 marked as?
I haven't done 163 yet.
All righty, so we
Because
may
I have
continue
that
with
as
163.
consent.
I'm
No,
sorry?
it's not a consent. It's
No,
not a consent.
roll call.
We just voted on it.
It's roll call.
Roll call.
So you can go ahead, Ms. Penny Carter. We're apologizing.
Resolution 22-163, a resolution accepting a bid and awarding a contract to municipal maintenance for prevention, maintenance, and inspections of the RDP TECOM line slacking system for a period of 1 year from April 8th, 2022 to April 7th, 2023, in an amount not to exceed $323,370 under bid 2022-21. So I need a motion.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. No.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride,
Yes.
carried. Now I'd like to introduce on first reading and introduction at 22-11, an ordinance creating the position of mental health worker in the Department of Health and Human Services newly established mental health and wellness program in the Director's Office, fixing the salary range therefore, and setting forth certain regulations for the implementation of the same. And the public hearing would be scheduled for May the 5th.
Council President,
Go right ahead, Councilwoman.
if I may, they said they're fixing the salary range, but it's not stated on the ordinance.
It should be stated on the backup. I think it said 35 to 70 something. Let me pull it up. Shit. Shit.
I have the backup. It doesn't say anything.
Yeah, on the I looked at it because I was called on it. Okay.
The supplement
Let's see here.
Schedule A, mental health worker, AFSCME Local 2286, range 55,284 to $71,920.
I don't have that.
Does it also give you the union
Yes, the AFSCME Local 2286.
Yeah, that's it.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried unanimously. Can we take a short break before we go into open for public comments?
Madam President, may I excuse myself from the meeting, please?
Yes, you may.
Okay, thank you.
And Ms. Penny Carter, you want to take a 5-minute?
Yes, please.
Council President,
Yes.
I'd like to put a motion on the floor before anyone leaves.
A second.
Go right ahead.
And that's the move to go back into city council chambers.
Second.
Motion must be heard. A motion must be heard.
Is Councilman Rodriguez still on the line?
No, he's gone.
I'm going to call him right now. See if he's going to come back.
Well, we could.
Can we do the vote right after the break, Councilman Michelle? That's okay with him, if we can get Councilman Rodriguez back on?
Well, Ms. Penny Carter, she needs to take a break. So, Councilman Michelle, you moved he put a motion on the floor. The motion has to be heard unless he withdraw his motion. So before the break, do you want to withdraw until after the break, Councilman?
No, I like to have it done now while we're here.
Okay.
All right. I didn't want to risk it failing because Councilman Rodriguez is not on the line.
You want me to call the roll? Madam President, you want me to call the roll?
Yes, I mean, the motion is on the floor. Councilwoman Vaughn.
Yeah.
They wanna call without Councilman Rodriguez on the line. Yeah. And I think that we should wait till all of the council is here to make the decision. But Councilman Michelle said move forward with it now.
Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Councilman Harrison,
Yes.
Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
Councilman Rodriguez is absent. Councilwoman Vaughn,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilkins,
Yes.
Council President McBride.
Yes.
Carried.
Amen.
Yes,
Now,
it's good to see everybody.
Which meeting are we opening up? March the 3rd?
May the 3rd. May the 3rd.
It would be the
Okay.
Council President, may I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Just very quickly, although we're going back in the chambers and in person, it would be great if we can request, I don't know if we have to pass a resolution for the service, but to have the IT department still live stream the meeting.
I've already asked for that. excuse me, Councilwoman Vaughn, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have asked the IT people to investigate us doing a hybrid meeting.
Excellent.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. Thank
Very
you.
good. Very good.
Okay, Mentor.
Now, can we take a short recess,
Yes,
please?
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Go right ahead. 5 minutes, Miss Penny Carter.
Thank you.
We'll be back. We'll reconvene at 7:50. Council members. I'm going to open the floor for public comment. As soon as we make sure that we have our council members back. Councilman Harrison, are you here? Councilman Michelle,
Yes.
are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All righty, so we
I'm
can
here.
move forward. All righty, so we're going to open up for public comment.
The first person
the
is
first-
Maurice Hallett.
Go right ahead, Mr. Howlett.
Good evening, Council. This is Maurice Howlett, 11 West Front Street, 1911 Smokehouse. I got a couple comments this evening. First would be my concern about the ABC license renewal. That process is ongoing, yet I don't believe there is a plan as to who will be taking care of that in the clerk's office. My suggestion would be, I believe Shirley is still employed with the city, so hopefully we could get her to run this process. My concern is if we are delayed or behind in getting these licenses approved, these are state licenses, so I'm afraid that us ABC license holders might be disadvantaged in not getting our licenses extended at a proper timing. My second question surrounds around cannabis sales. 420 was yesterday, recreational started today, and as driving by the facility in Lawrence, the line was around the block. I would love to see those kind of customers downtown because one of the after effects of smoking legal marijuana is being hungry. So I would like to know where the city is with our plans for having cannabis in the city. Ewing, Lawrence, they both have everything on their city websites. It seems like they are doing very well, and I haven't really heard much as to what the city of Trenton is doing as far as bringing businesses, cannabis-related businesses to the city. And my last point I'd like to lead with is West Front Street we've had problems with our roads, trip hazards for a while. We're starting our community block parties beginning of May, and I'm just afraid one of my customers are going to trip and fall. We heard from I believe the Public Works Director earlier talking about permanent solutions of cutting and milling roads. Well, we have plenty of cut sections in the brick street for Front Street, and we've only ever received the temporary repairs, which quickly erode and end up being puddles and potholes. So I'd like to, see when we can get someone to do some permanent repairs, either redo our bricks, or if they're not going to maintain the brick road, let's pave the whole thing and let's do it right. Because us taxpayers and my customers deserve better. That's all I had for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Penny Carter, could you make sure
The
that...
next one is Caitlin Fair.
Okay.
Council President,
Go
what
right
were you
ahead.
asking me to do?
No, I was going to make sure that we kept it to a 3-minute minimal for the public speakers.
To your timer. Thank you.
The next one is Caitlin Fair.
Go right ahead, Ms. Fair.
Thank you, Council. I will try to be brief. I just actually wanted to speak on something that came up in a previous meeting, and I want to extend my really my sincerest gratitude to Robin and Kathy for using your platform to bring the tragedy of Jawan Henderson to the wider attention of the people of the city. I think it's absolutely critical that we're all made aware of and stay informed about these instances of police violence in our city. So I'm really grateful to all who use their voices to amplify these issues. I've been actively organizing around and advocating against police violence since 2014 with the murder of Mike Brown. I've been tear gassed in Ferguson. I've been tear gassed in Trenton. I also participated in a 100% volunteer-led initiative where clergy, activists, and mental health professionals responded to every single homicide in Trenton and met with the families and friends of those involved to provide support and resources. In 2015, we responded to the police shooting of 14-year-old Radaz Hearns and spent almost a full year working with his family and advocating for him and his rights. We raised money, we attended court hearings, we even worked with a private investigator to try and fight the charges that police brought up against him in an attempt to cover up their own misconduct. But despite our best efforts, instead of getting justice, Radaz was shot, arrested, and sent to jail. He was shot 7 times in the back as he fled from officers who were not in standard uniform, who jumped out of an unmarked van with guns drawn. 12 hours later, a gun mysteriously appeared under a parked car several yards away from where Radaz ran. And despite eyewitness accounts stating that he was unarmed, Radaz was forced to take a plea deal after 30 offers, while the Mercer County Sheriff's Department and Trenton PD officers involved received no consequence and continue to serve to this day. My name and image have been circulated through Trenton PD and New Jersey State Police for my involvement in that work and other protest and organizing activities, but I will never shut up about the fundamentally flawed system that is American policing, which includes policing in Trenton, New Jersey. Radaz was not the first here, and he certainly was not the last, clearly, as we just had Jawan Henderson, despite serious efforts throughout time to make change here. So I say all this to say police violence in Trenton has been a big problem, and it's been a problem long before Steve Wilson and will be a problem after Steve Wilson. The Jump Out Boys have been terrorizing residents for years and will likely continue to do so for years. However, I've also heard residents in the city call for officers that are notoriously problematic and known for their violent conduct to be put back on patrol in order to, quote, get violence under control. But we cannot have both. We have centuries of evidence to demonstrate that policing is not the thing that deters or decreases crime. In fact, there's evidence to suggest that over-policing the community serves only to criminalize poverty and actually contribute to violence. Okay, thank you. And getting rid of Ernest Perry didn't fix that. Getting rid of Sheila Coley didn't fix that. And getting rid of Steve Wilson is not going to fix that. And I don't say that because I particularly care for Steve Wilson, but there are
you're
some
out of
things that we
time.
can do. Okay, I'll come back next meeting to share the things that I think council can do to help end police violence in the city.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next hand, Councilwoman Vaughn.
That's it. No others. Ms. Fair was the last one. Let me go back up one more. Nope, no one else.
All right.
Anyone on the phone lines? Maybe on the phone lines, Council President?
Yeah.
Up. There's Michael Jackson. Council President Michael Jackson.
Go right ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Hello, good evening. This is Karen Jackson, Michael Jackson's wife.
Hi.
Hi, how y'all guys doing? I'm inquiring about on Tuesday about the meeting about the house on 78 Evans. I wanted to know what was the vote. I came in late.
Well, we're going to ask you to email Mr. Colin Cherry. We had a lengthy conversation about it, and so you have to email Mr. Colin Cherry. Your property was not listed on that list, so you have to email Mr. Colin Cherry. All right.
Okay.
So you can get some answers.
All right, will do. Thank you.
All right. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. Make sure that you email him, please.
I will.
All right.
Thanks. All right.
The next person is at phone number 2050, 396-2050.
Yes,
Go right ahead.
it's Faith Ann Pearson. I'm calling, sorry about Tuesday. I'm calling about the resolution 22-144. I know it was on the consent agenda, but I noticed that it said 2 years in the resolution. And it was for March 18th, 2022 through December 31st of 2023. That comes out to be 17 months, not 24. Was the resolution appropriately changed to reflect the 2 years? Or was it changed from being 2 years to 17 months?
The administration, Mr. Cherry, if you would give her your email so you can answer her question tomorrow, please.
Yes, she can. Ms. Pearson, you can give me an email at ccherry@trentonnj.org, or you can call the Office of Administration at 989-3807.
Okie dokie, thank you much.
Is there anyone else, Councilwoman Vaughn?
Yes, Ms. Sherry Garrett.
Go right ahead, Ms. Garrett.
Yes, thank you, Council President and the Council body. Just real quick, just to elaborate on my statement or my discussion in reference to 2206. Mr. Cherry was also, when you were discussing the issue with the 22-131, and I think their last names that the family just, or the wife that just spoke. Not only does Mr. Cherry should set up for helping the residents or interested persons with information in regards to the city tax sales. Even the administration, because it doesn't seem, I'm sorry to say it, but we're back and forth with this again, that the persons who work in these units are not aware or abreast of policy or where they are within the process, and what unit does what, and who they should be, who gives authorization for this or that. They're not informed. The administration is not informed. So I think before that they can have a meeting with the public, because this has been done before, where information was given out or shared, but people came back and accessed that information, or tried to access or apply for to obtain an application, to apply for whatever grants or whatever funding that was available for seniors or for, I think they had something dealing with the CDBG money with the COC, and still no information. People were not notified or contacted to say that their application was approved. I've heard from persons who have stated that they have applied and they were back and forth and there was no information. They've given all the information that was supposed to be required or asked of them, and still no one is following up on whatever it is that they're hired in a position to provide a service to do. So just to give a heads up that, before you go out to the public, I think the administration needs to get their stuff in order and understand what type of service, what the policies are in providing those services, and what are the rules, and having the proper applications available, and having all that, whatever it is that has to be designed or submitted, that it's done. And the last thing, I'm going to wrap it up 1 second here, is the inventory system. I don't understand how a public entity is operating and you don't have an inventory system. So, here we go again. No one knows who's supposed to be doing what, and no information or reports are being submitted because no one's doing their job. That's all. Thank you.
Next person, Councilwoman.
No one else.
Would move to close public comment. Move to second by Councilwoman Wilkins. Ms. Penny Carter.
You want me to do it by roll call, or is all in favor?
You could just all in favor.
All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
So carried.
Motion to open civic comment. I'll start with Councilwoman Caldwell Wilson.
Not at this time.
Councilman Harrison.
I would like to say tonight regarding the auctions. The auctions are open up to anybody, not only just Trenton residents. So people from outside the city want to put in a bid to move into the city property. So be it. It's wonderful. Secondly, regarding redistricting, you said it again, the clerk represents the city council. It's how it's always been. And at the end of the day, it would be nice if we just continually just work on getting the docket done. And tonight, actually, I'm looking at the time, it's actually pretty reasonable. It's 8 o'clock. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Councilman Mushal.
Nothing. Thank you. Good night.
Woman Vaughn.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, it's a lot, but about expanding the ward commissioners, that is extremely important. And yes, to Councilman Harrison, the clerk does play a role for the city, and that individual will continue to play the role for the city of Trenton. Adding 2 more seats will not impact that. So that's that. I will say thank you to Ms. Caitlin Fair for being diligent and advocating for such a critical issue in our society. We all should be committed to getting rid of police misconduct and police reform, police department reform in our city and beyond, and also criminal justice reform, and to ensure that our leaders in law enforcement at the New Jersey Office of Attorney General, Matthew Platkin, is on board with that, hold them accountable, hold our Mercer County prosecutor, Angela Honorfree, accountable. These are, and all the judges in the Mercer County court system and criminal court as well, because they're part of a system that has a purview of these type of situations. The prosecutors play a critical role in following the charges against police officers who find themselves engaging in this type of behavior. If the prosecutor does not charge them, hold them accountable, and enforce penalties, then the behavior continues. So, and I just want to give a shout out to, yes, to the families who live with this type of injustice on a daily basis, particularly in our borders. Yes, we have George Floyd, we have Michael Browns of the world, we have Breonna Taylor, etc. But in the city of Trenton, right here in our borders, such a small city like ours, we have Jason Williams, only 42 years old, shot on March 2019. Stephen Dossymore, only 29 years old. He was choked to death. Joanne Henderson, of course, of recent times, only 29 years old. Shot, paralyzed, chest down. Joseph R., 64 years old. Maced. He died later of his injuries. So until it happens to your family, you know, we kind of turn a blind eye or a passive eye. Or passive, yep, we're passive. So everybody should care about this. and all the police officers should be brought to justice. So I'm counting on Angela Honorfree and Matthew Platkin to make it happen. And I just want to say leadership is very important, but it's not the only thing. But when we take on leadership roles, we should take them seriously. A lot of folks depend on folks to act accordingly and commit to their obligations. Leaders should not only care about issues that impact them or their particular domain, rather be their team, only their team members, only their ward. Right? When you're a leader, particularly in our positions, we are duly elected in individual capacity. We serve across a ward or all wards, or the mayor who serves across the whole city. But we all have an obligation to not commit only to our responsibility, but to ensure the whole, contribute to the whole. And that's something that a leader does. I had the pleasure during my career, I had a contract for about 2 years at GE Capital in Stamford, Connecticut. At the time, I didn't work under the famous celebrity CEO, Jack Welch, but I worked under Jeffrey Immelt. And it was a very smart gentleman there who was their chief general counsel. And I think it was, or one of the general counsels there, one of the GE businesses. GE has many, but I was in the capital leg. And the gentleman, he was very bright. And we used to say that, he was triple Harvard. And he was an African-American man. And when you're triple Harvard, they say you have an undergraduate degree from Harvard, you have an MBA from Harvard, and you have a JD from Harvard. And there's a very few people in the country who have that. And this gentleman was one of the ones. And there's an affinity group at GE Capital. And affinity groups are all over organizations, and they pretty much dedicate within an organization, they focus on particular minority groups like African Americans, Asian, Native American, Hispanic, Latino, et cetera, et cetera. And I was part of the African American affinity group at GE Capital. And the individual served as our sponsor and mentor. And he said to me, when we were trying to appoint leaders, our vice president, VP, president, secretary, and all that in the organization, and everybody knew how accomplished this gentleman was. So we honored him. We said, well, we definitely want him to have a leadership position. Let's vote him in as the leader, our leader. And he stood up and he said, well, I'm going to tell you all something. I have no desire to be in a leadership position of this affinity group. He said, I want to participate just a regular member. And he said, the reason that is because you don't have to have a title. You don't have to have a VP behind your name. You don't have to have a president after your name to have impact. Some of the people who never served in a officer role many have the greatest impact on the organization. They are usually the hardest workers. It's very rare that the person who's the VP or the president, etc., is the one who does the work and is the change agent. So he said, for that reason, he just rather just be a regular member because he felt that doesn't matter. I'm going to work just as hard and have impact whether I have a title or not. So, I looked at the newspaper about the changes in our organization, and I saw that, we heard that our colleague Caldwell Wilson is stepping down from her position as a VP. So it doesn't matter. I hold her accountable for her job and her role on this council, regardless if she has the title or not. So and I hold every single one of us on this council with the same obligation, and the electorate and the residents of the taxpayers can do the same. And the guidance and advice of one of my old sponsors at GE Capital, who says it doesn't matter. If you're a member of an organization, you have a responsibility to deliver and do your job, regardless if you have a title or not. And many folks do very well and have impact with the same. And I'm just going to leave it at that for tonight. Thank you, Council President. Thank you all for joining the call.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wilkins.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, residents on the line. Good evening, officials that may be on the line. I appreciate you all coming out. I appreciate you all engaging in the council meetings, doing your civic duty. I stand here to do my duty as well, being an elected official at large. But let me reintroduce myself. My name is Sonia A. Wilkins. My name is not puppet. My name is not idiot. My name is not flunky or any other derogatory name that references someone in control. I want to make a statement to say that I have not disrespected any of my council colleagues, but have offered my sincerest respect. Therefore, I will not tolerate anyone disrespecting me at any level. First time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. It will not be tolerated. We can agree to disagree, and we can do it with respect. I stand here to defend myself and advise you and anyone that if you disrespect me with names, I will respond accordingly. I don't take verbal abuse lightly. And as men and males in leadership, you should be mindful of calling women out of their names, publicly and privately. My role here is to serve the city of Trenton, the citizens, and the residents. Now let us get back to the business of the city. Thank you, Council President. Thank you, colleagues, and good night, everyone.
So good evening, everyone, again. And I would just like to thank all of the directors for coming on. I would like to thank the public for tuning in. It's very important that you tune in and remain civically involved. And I would just like to thank all of my colleagues for their input. I would like to ask Mr. Cruz. He's not here this evening, so it will go to Mr. Colin Cherry to set up an appointment with myself and Dr. Lopez and Mrs. Gaffey Cooper, because we do need to discuss how to build, and I will be speaking as the president of the Board of Health that represents Trenton, because the council is the Board of Health. And I would like to speak with Dr. Lopez and our health officer, Gaffey Cooper, in reference to how we're going to build out our animal shelter, talk about the staff that we have, talk about the staff that we need to bring on, discuss the $200,000 that we allocated to the trailers. We need to see how that money is being spent. We need to also discuss with our health officer how she can apply for grants from the State Department of Health. And so all of these things need to be discussed. We want to build out that animal shelter, and we need to go to the state, because I'm quite sure there are plenty of dollars out there with the state, and we need to tap into those resources. So, Mr. Cherry, if you could make that happen, that we actually get a chance to sit down in this coming week to discuss everything that I've outlined in reference to the animal shelter. I would also like to ask Mrs. Carter when was she able to touch bases with the administration in reference to the budget? The budget meetings has to be set up, and this is for and Ms. Penny Carter. You could just text me and let me know, or if you have the dates available now, you can let us know that too. And Mr. Lavingberg needs to set up a time that him and Mr. D. Hope will talk to us about that lead line replacement and the actual lawsuit and what is going on with the lawsuit. We also need to discuss whether or not we're going to wrap up the actual audit in the water department. That is one thing that I think that we should do. We should wrap that up. And if it means paying Mr. O'Brien's company what he's asking for, I could see that we have spent money on a lot of other things that weren't needed. And to me, getting that water department into compliance is definitely needed. And we need to have a conversation about our compensation claims. I believe that the city is in serious violation of how they handle our compensation lawsuits, workmen's compensation lawsuits. And we need to have a serious conversation with the directors all across the board, and especially our human resource director needs to come to the table. We need to definitely talk about those cases and how they are impacting the city of Trenton and our taxes, because we're spending so much money out. There's no training going on in the city of Trenton. There, a lot of these accidents and incidents can be prevented, but we're dealing with them by settlements. And I just don't think that that's a way to run a corporation. You can't settle your way out of this. You need to fix it. You need to fix it with training. You need to fix it with the directors. I just think that there's a serious problem here, and it has to be addressed. We cannot go any further without addressing the fact that we have over 300 workers' compensation claims pending. That's outrageous. It's outrageous. And there's no training. And that is why we asked about the road inspector. I spoke to this on Tuesday when they said a company was here and they were demolishing a building and no one had on hard hats. They didn't have a hose wetting down the area for the dust. And a lot of people were complaining in the community. These are things that could be prevented. And we need to prevent as much as we possibly can, because the bottom line is that when we make these gross mistakes, it falls back on the taxpayers. I think we need to talk about the fact that Broad and East State Street is an open drug market. They have taken over our downtown. They are out on the corner of Broad and East State Street with chairs, with cold drinks, with their trunks popped open, literally around the corner from our crime center, selling fentanyl, selling Percocets, and all kinds of drugs. It is an actual open drug market. Where is the administration at on this? Where is the police? I couldn't believe it. I drove down East State and Broad Street to go to the Chinese restaurant, and they were approaching me, asking me if I wanted to purchase fentanyl. What is going on our city streets? This is unacceptable by all levels. I got a letter in my mailbox from a resident that was born here, that has operated a business here in this city for 60 years. And the letter says that his daughter died from fentanyl poisoning and nobody's even answering any questions. Come on, we have an open drug market on East State and Broad in the capital city. This is unacceptable, people. This is unacceptable. I look forward to meeting with Mr. Lavenberg and Mrs. D. Hope. I need to find out about the lead line replacement. I need to find out when the streets are going to be paved, when the sidewalks are going to be cemented from the contractors that came and put that blacktop in the middle of our sidewalks. We also need to know if we met all of the criteria under the ACO, and I need to speak with Dr. Lopez and Health Officer Gaffey Cooper in reference to the animal shelter. Ms. Penny Carter, if you don't have the dates for the budget, we'll talk on Monday, or you can email me tonight, but it's at your leisure. But we need to start those budget talks immediately because we're the only municipality in the state of New Jersey that doesn't have a budget in place. And that's shameful. It's shameful. So I thank all of you again for coming out. There's a lot of work that has to be done. We're working hard to make our redevelopment agency a reality. Mayor Reed Gussiora is doing all kinds of things to usurp the power of a supermajority. That has to stop. There's no reason that he has been calling up all of the lawyers that are connected with the corporation, telling them that they cannot go and file an application in the local finance board for us to move forward with our agency. He does not have that authority to do so, and either he stops willingly or we will shut him down because he does not have the authority to do it. He vetoed the ordinance. The ordinance was overridden by 5 council people, which is a supermajority, and that is as far as his powers would take him. Reed Gussiora needs to get off the bandwagon, stop running interference when we're trying to move this city forward with redevelopment. Everyone wants to talk about, the council don't want any redevelopment, but you have a mayor here running interference and no one is saying anything. No one said anything about him doing an executive order to spend $8.6 million. No one said anything about the fact that he gave him and his staff raises and it was attached to the taxpayers in the tune of $250,000 and they never stopped it. No one says anything to this man. They're allowing him to run roughshod over the law, and it is not permittable, period. It is not permittable. And Mayor Gussiora, you need to stay in your space and remember there is a separation between the administration and the legislative body. I thank all of you for coming. I look forward to working with you. Let's all roll our sleeves up and get busy. Thank you. Mrs. Penny Carter, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Yes, ma'am. Who's seconding?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carried.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And do I just